Looks like we might be getting a Star Wars What If series officially from Lucasfilm. Now, if you don't know about the What If series, this is something that Star Wars has done way back when George was owning Lucasfilm, and it was called Star Wars Infinities. And I actually had this, I don't know where it is, this massive like compendium of what if stories that were created. Like what if Leia was trained instead of Luke? You know, what if Vader was redeemed where he had a white suit? There were tons of different endings, and they would just literally make fan fictions. And I thought they were really interesting. And of course, the channel here got insanely popular in the beginning just from my fan fictions, because I just always enjoyed rewriting the stories and just, you know, having like a butterfly effect. If one thing was different, one thing changed. And of course, you know, here we are. So we may actually be getting one, which is really cool. Now, Marvel went off and they made one. I wasn't too into it, but I'm sure for a Star Wars one, we could get a lot of really cool, promising, hopefully what if scenarios. And the fun part about that is that they could literally do whatever because it's a what if, right? So I would love to see if they ever make some of my fan fictions into reality or some of other people's fan fictions. That would be pretty cool. In the recent MCU flop era, the Disney Plus series What If has proven to be one of Marvel Studios' more creative and popular ventures. And according to a new rumor, the Star Wars franchise may be getting its version. What If is an animated anthology series in which each episode revisits a major MCU plot and explores what would have happened if things had gone differently. Right? So, for example, what if Qui-Gon didn't die? You know, Anakin would have been trained by the father figure that he needed, and he would have been redeemed. Well, he would even have fallen to the dark side. He wouldn't need to be redeemed. He wouldn't need redemption. And if Obi-Wan died, you know, what would happen there? What if Mace Windu did arrest the Chancellor? What if Anakin never turned to the dark side? What if Anakin beat Obi-Wan? You know, what if Luke died? He did in Last Jedi, but what if Luke died in the original trilogy? What if Vader didn't save Luke? What if Count Dooku trained Obi-Wan? What if Count Dooku trained Anakin? A lot of different scenarios that we can go off on. Actually, I don't think I ever did the Count Dooku training Anakin, which I would love to do. So this happening would be really fun. I just really hope that they don't do the animation they did for the What If series on Marvel. Wasn't too into it. I like the animation style of the Clone Wars and Tales of the Jedi, which I'm hoping we get Tales of the Sith. So far, there have been 2 seasons of the show and a highly anticipated What If Season 3, plus a spin-off series titled Marvel Zombies, are also in development. For the studio, an animated series is far less financially risky than a blockbuster release, and Star Wars, which has faced its own box office struggles in recent years, might be wise to follow in Marvel Studios' footsteps. Yeah, and they, you know, shouldn't have happened. They could have really made it a super profitable business. According to a recent rumor from insider Daniel Richtman, parent company Disney, who also owns Lucasfilm, may take the concept of infinite possibilities and apply it to the Star Wars universe. Richtman claims a Star Wars What If is already in development. Nice! A Star Wars version of the series would likely also reimagine pivotal moments within the canon. Dude, I have wanted this. It's literally like the bread and butter of my channel. Superfans have already been imagining alternate reality Star Wars scenarios for years, and potential titles for a What If series could include things like What If Padme Turned to the Dark? That's the one you're going to choose. What if Padme Turned to the dark side? Which wasn't even Force sensitive. Dumb. There is no short, but that's the thing with What If. It could be dumb. It could be whatever you want. There is no shortage of insane twists creators could put on a Star Wars series where anything goes. The animated format would allow creators to explore big concepts without risking another box office flop. Another upside to adding an animated anthology series to the Star Wars slate is giving audiences the chance to reconnect with their favorite characters again. And I truly think that all the animated projects, correct me if I'm wrong, have been super popular and well received, whereas the live action ones have not. So I really don't think that they could mess up animated. I think there is so much more flexibility and forgiveness in animation than live action. And so I really feel like the room to explore is very evident in animated projects. Recent Star Wars titles, particularly the sequel films, have introduced mostly new characters and have been met with mixed reviews. Many fans miss and even prefer the characters from George Lucas' original trilogy, and a Star Wars What If might allow some beloved characters to return in a new way. I mean, imagine if we get Luke making different decisions in the we could, wow. We could literally have them do a different sequel trilogy. What if Han Solo didn't die? What if Luke Skywalker didn't die? What if Luke Skywalker wasn't a little bitch in The Last Jedi? What if Luke Skywalker was Luke Skywalker? What if Luke Skywalker turned to the dark side in The Last Jedi? I mean, man, they could make 50 episodes per season. They could make it 10 minutes long each. Oh, dude, I would watch that because it's what if. It's who cares? Just not what if Padme turned to the dark side. That's kind of lame. In addition, the cast of Marvel Studios' What If includes A-list voice actors like Kurt Russell, skeleton crew Jude Law and Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher narrator. If Rickman's rumors turn out to be true, which I think they are, and the creatives at Lucasfilm take a play out of the MCU handbook, out of the YouTubers' handbooks, fans might even get to hear some of today's best working actors voicing iconic Star Wars characters. I mean, imagine getting Hayden Christensen returning. But should Matt Lanter be all of the animated voices? Should he be the voice for all animated projects going forwards for Anakin? Yeah, dude, not only would it be a cool project, but I really do think that this could be potentially the very beginning of making things right with the sequel trilogy. You could at least have one thing to look at, be like, oh, like, why didn't they do this? But, dare I say, would they even do something like that? Because then fans would be extremely angry. I think, why not? You gave the sequel fans something super disjointed, and they loved it. So why can't you give the OT and prequel trilogy fans, Star Wars fans, something that's along the lines of what we were expecting? And that just means that Luke wouldn't have given up. That's all. That's really it. That's like, at the end of the day, the meat and potatoes of what went wrong is that Luke gave up and cut himself off from the Force, and that he was really just not Luke. And that's why, it's like Mark Hamill said, Jake Skywalker. So
I almost had to think of Luke as another character. Maybe he's Jake Skywalker. He's not my Luke Skywalker.
I think that they could really do a lot of good, a lot of entertainment, but also a ton of good with rectifying a lot of the things in the sequels. And it's not out of their league. They did that with episode 9. They rectified a ton of stuff in episode 9 from episode 8. And I truly believe that they can do that now in an animated form where it's not canon. So we can really have the flexibility to do whatever we want. So I'm down for it. I'm excited for it. I hope that they do this. Let me know what you guys think. What's a fan fiction that you want to see that I have created, or maybe anyone's created on YouTube, that you would love for them to make? Because I guarantee you, I've got hundreds and hundreds of fan fictions that I've done, and there are so many other talented creators out there that have done a lot of other fan fictions. I truly believe that they'll definitely make some of those happen. One that I would love to see is, what if Obi-Wan didn't leave Anakin on Mustafar? One of my favorite fan fictions that I ever wrote and created. Go check that one out if you haven't already. I think it's a 2-parter, and it took me forever to edit back in the day. I remember those days. And then, the goofy ones, like, what if Obi-Wan did take the Death Sticks? What if Anakin... What if Anakin didn't drop on Tatooine? What if Anakin wasn't afraid of sand? What if the younglings killed Anakin? There's a lot of goofy ones that I've done, and I'd love to go back and definitely make some more funny ones. But for the time being, this is positive on two fronts, that we could get really good entertainment, and then we could also get a different variation of the sequel trilogy, which I would absolutely love to see. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please go check out my Theory Sabers. I'm about to launch the biggest launch so far of the year, which doesn't mean much because the year just started, but I'm really revamping the site, and you'll see that probably March time. But right now we're going to be offering 2 sabers, and it's going to be starting at $175. Smooth swing. I am trying to be the most competitive saber seller, retailer, manufacturer, as well as create my own custom ones at the same time. So you guys wanted cheaper sabers? I'm doing it. I'm going to take a big hit on the profits, but compared to other websites, but everything that I make, I'm putting it right back into Vader Episode 2. It's costing me 15 to 20 grand a month right now, starting in January. As we go forwards, that's a lot of money. And, I can't crowdfund for it, but I can offer you guys products, merch, things like that. So with the sabers, going to be dropping them in a couple days. Please keep your eye out. Got my anatomy. Eye out for it. And check out the Instagram, Theory Sabers. You guys won't be disappointed. I'm really going to be a big contender in that space. I truly believe it. I have a big passion for sabers. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you, always.